Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something that, well, affects all of you listening, your emotions.
That's right. Joy, sadness, anger, confusion,
Yeah.
they're all part of the package.
Absolutely. And figuring out how to handle them, that's a really vital skill for everyone.
It really is. But it's interesting, isn't it, how many people actually find it quite challenging?
Definitely. You often see folks either, trying to just push feelings down, bottle them up.
Or the complete opposite, just feeling totally swamped when big emotions hit.
Right. And the thing is, those emotions you don't process, they don't just vanish.
Yeah.
They can really impact your mental health.
And even show up physically. It's quite profound.
So our mission today in this deep dive is to explore why it's so tricky sometimes, look at the common hurdles people face.
And, importantly, offer some practical steps, some tools for navigating feelings in a healthier way.
Oh, okay, so let's start there. Why is processing emotions such a challenge for so many of us?
Well, a big part of it, I think, stems from a lack of, let's say, emotional education early on. Most of us weren't explicitly taught how to deal with disappointment or frustration as kids.
That's so true. It was more like, stop crying or toughen up.
Yeah, exactly. Those messages, even if well-intentioned, kind of teach us that certain emotions are inconvenient or maybe even bad, something to avoid.
Which leads to feeling like you shouldn't feel them.
Precisely.
Mm.
And then you add the sheer intensity of some emotions. Think about deep grief or real anger.
Mm-hmm.
It can feel completely overwhelming. Like, where do you even start trying to unpack that?
It's like being swept away, yeah. And then there's the whole societal layer on top of that.
Yes. The pressure.
This constant, almost unspoken expectation to stay positive, put on a brave face.
Keep smiling. Yeah, it can make you feel guilty or like you're failing if you're having a tough time.
Which is such a harmful idea because, as we need to keep reminding ourselves, all emotions are valid.
Absolutely crucial point. They're signals. They're telling us something important about our experience, even the uncomfortable ones.
So ignoring them is like ignoring a warning light on your car dashboard.
That's a great analogy. Eventually, something's likely to give. Which brings us to the consequences of not processing them. What happens when we just bury feelings?
Well, the sources we looked at are pretty clear. They don't just go away. They build up.
Right. They fester.
And then they tend to pop out in ways that aren't very helpful, like sudden anger outbursts over small things.
Classic example, often fueled by lots of smaller, unaddressed frustrations piling up.
And it's not just anger, is it? It can feed into anxiety.
Definitely. Or deepen feelings of depression. And the physical side too, headaches, fatigue, stomach issues.
Wow. So our bodies are literally trying to tell us something's wrong emotionally.
It certainly seems that way sometimes. It's all interconnected. And think about relationships.
Oh, yeah. How does unprocessed emotion affect how we connect with others?
Well, if you're not really aware of what you're feeling or why, it makes clear communication really difficult, doesn't it?
For sure. Hard to express yourself, hard to resolve conflicts constructively.
Exactly. You might end up projecting your stuff onto other people without even realizing it. And there's also this interesting thing called emotional numbness.
Numbness. How does that work?
It's like in the effort to suppress the difficult, quote-unquote, negative emotions.
You accidentally turn down the volume on everything?
Pretty much. You might end up feeling less joy, less excitement too. Life can start to feel a bit flat, muted.
That sounds really difficult. But
Okay.
the good news is there are ways to manage this better. So let's get practical. What's a good first step?
Okay, a really foundational first step is simply to name the emotion.
Just identify it, yeah.
When you feel that wave coming, pause for a second. Ask yourself, what is this? Is it frustration, sadness, fear, jealousy?
Labeling it helps somehow.
It really does. It makes it feel less like this huge, vague, scary thing and more like something specific you can actually look at. It engages the thinking part of your brain.
Okay, I like that. Name it. Then what?
Then, and this sounds simple, but can be really hard to allow yourself to feel it.
Just sit with it without trying to fix it immediately.
Exactly. Resist the urge to instantly distract yourself or judge yourself for feeling it. Give yourself permission. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry. It's human.
That acceptance piece feels really key. Like you said, fighting it often just makes it stronger.
Resisting just adds another layer of struggle. So once you've named it and you've allowed some space for it, the next step is a bit of detective work.
Finding the root cause.
Yeah, asking why. What might be triggering this feeling right now?
Sometimes it's obvious, like an argument you just had.
Right. But other times it might be, a bit deeper, maybe connected to something from the past or a pattern you haven't noticed before.
That requires some honest self-reflection.
It does. Getting curious about your own internal world. And once you have a sense of the emotion and maybe its roots, what's next?
Expressing it, finding a healthy outlet.
What might that look like?
Oh, it varies. Talking to a trusted friend or partner, journaling, getting it out on paper can be amazing.
Yeah, writing can be really powerful.
Or creative stuff, painting, music, even just moving your body, like going for a run if you're feeling frustrated.
Finding that constructive release valve. Absolutely. And sometimes understanding the emotion points towards needing to take action. So
Yes, definitely. Like if the feeling is guilt or regret.
maybe an apology is needed or making amends somehow.
Exactly. Processing the feeling helps clarify what action, if any, could help you move forward.
Okay, this is all really practical. Now, something that seems to underpin all of this is self-compassion. How crucial is that?
Oh, it's huge. Absolutely fundamental because, let's face it, dealing with difficult emotions often brings up self-criticism.
We beat ourselves up for feeling bad.
Totally. Feeling guilty for being angry or ashamed for feeling vulnerable or sad. Self-compassion is about treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend.
Understanding, not judgment. Choosing kindness over criticism, especially when you're struggling.
It's a powerful shift. Remembering that experiencing a whole range of emotions doesn't mean you're weak or flawed, it just means you're human.
Exactly. It normalizes the experience. And self-compassion also brings patience, doesn't it?
Yes. Because this isn't always quick. Processing takes time. Being gentle with yourself makes that journey less daunting.
It allows for the ups and downs. Okay, so we're learning to navigate these feelings, but when should someone think about getting outside help?
That's a really important point. The guidance suggests if you feel persistently stuck.
Like you just can't shift a particular feeling.
Yeah, or if the emotion feels overwhelmingly intense, like it's just too much to handle alone, or if it's been going on for a really long time without easing up.
Those are definite flags.
Talking to people you trust, friends, family can help, but also considering professional support, like a therapist or counselor.
They can offer different perspectives, new tools. And what about impact on daily life?
That's another key indicator if your emotional state is really getting in the way of work or messing with your relationships or affecting your physical health.
That's a clear sign that seeking professional help could be really beneficial.
And it's so important to stress there's zero shame in that. Reaching out is a sign of strength, truly.
Absolutely. Just knowing you're not alone can be incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Now, even when trying these steps, people hit roadblocks. What are some common challenges?
Well, one big one is denial. Just not wanting to acknowledge the feeling is there.
Because it's uncomfortable,
Yeah,
or it doesn't fit the image we have of ourselves.
exactly. It's like a subconscious, nope, not feeling that. It might feel safer temporarily, but it stops any real processing.
It just keeps the feeling lingering under the surface. What else?
Overthinking, getting stuck in your head, analyzing the heck out of the emotion instead of actually feeling it.
Ah, the rumination cycle. Going round and round on the why without actually experiencing the what.
Yes, it can actually make you feel worse, digging you deeper into the feeling rather than helping you move through it.
That's a tricky one to break. And what about fear? Fear of the emotion itself.
Yeah, that's real. The fear that if you really let yourself feel intense sadness or anger, it'll just swallow you whole.
It will never end.
Right. But the helpful perspective is thinking of emotions like waves.
They rise, peak, and then naturally fall away.
Exactly. And often if you allow yourself to ride the wave, to feel it fully, it passes more quickly than if you constantly fight against it.
That makes sense. Resistance prolongs it. Okay, so thinking longer term, how can people build lasting emotional health?
Building in some kind of regular self-reflection seems key.
Like a daily practice.
It doesn't have to be elaborate. Maybe just a few minutes of journaling, a quick meditation, or even just a pause during the day to check in. How am I feeling right now?
Staying connected to your internal state, like that. And related to that, maybe practicing good emotional hygiene.
Emotional hygiene. Tell me more.
Well, like physical hygiene keeps us physically well, emotional hygiene is about proactively tending to our emotional well-being, addressing niggling issues before they become huge problems.
Okay. Not letting things fester, being proactive.
Exactly. And another big one is your environment, surrounding yourself with supportive people.
Your support system. Yeah, having people you can actually talk to honestly makes such a difference.
It really does. Knowing you have people who get it or are willing to listen without judgment.
And finally, anything else for long-term health?
Just continuing to learn about emotions, understanding how they work, why we have them. It demystifies them.
Makes them less scary, more manageable,
Well,
gives you more tools in your toolkit.
precisely. The more you understand, the better equipped you are.
This has been incredibly valuable. I think the core takeaway for everyone listening is that your emotions, all of them, are valid. They're part of you.
And learning to work with them rather than against them is a true sign of strength and self-awareness.
Absolutely not weakness. So be patient with yourself on this journey. Be kind.
It's ongoing. It's a practice. And remember, reaching out for support is always an option if you need it.
You really do have the capacity to navigate this. Keep exploring, keep learning, and handle your emotions with that newfound understanding. You've got this.